Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 14 of the NFL football season. It's going to be a great week. My name's Joe. For those of you who knew or don't know, you could even read the name down there somewhere, right? Like that's me. That's me. Normally joined by Ryan. Ryan obviously can't find him. He's absent today. That's okay. We can do this without him. Just not nearly as much fun. But hey, sometimes things happen. We understand, but we're still gonna give you our picks. We still have the slides, so you'll see Ryan's picks as well. As you guys come in here, let me know your picks in the comment section. Let me know who you think is going to win these matchups. Of course, as we always do, guys, before we get into the next week, we gotta look back at last week. And guys, if you have been tailing Ryan or I, hopefully Ryan when it comes to the props and parlays. But if you look at what we both did straight up last week, not too bad. 15-1 straight up for the both of us. That puts me at 127 and 68. That puts Ryan at 131 and 64. Both of us over 65% on the season straight up. Against the spread, we both go above 500. Ryan gets that double digits, which is what you're always looking for when you're talking about in the NFL. He sits at 110 and 85. I'm at 104 and 89. No matter how you slice those up, it equals profit. And that's what we're all about here on Razor Sharp Picks. But when it comes to profit, whatever profit I am making, I pick I'm the loser on my props. You look down there, lost every single prop I made last week. That's okay. We're down a whole bunch of units. If you look down there, we're going to try to make this up somehow throughout the course of the rest of the season. Only 5 weeks left, so that means that I'm going to have to take some gambles, and you're going to see that in our props a little bit later. Ryan just finished in the positive last week, so that puts him up 4.46 units on the season. Guys, if you're just into gambling for having fun, and that's what Ryan and I do, we're just into this for having fun, then if you finish up any way you slice it, it's a good thing. So good job on Ryan so far. Hopefully, that number continues to rise as the season goes on, and you can get some profit if you're tailing Ryan. If you're tailing me, sorry about that. If you're fading me, you're welcome. If you've been fading me all season, you are feeling pretty darn good, at least about the parlays and props. So let's get into our picks because that's where I shine. I'm going to stay there and we'll see how we do on the parlays a little bit later. Before we get into our picks, let's remind everybody who is a buy this week. You're looking at the Broncos with a buy this week, the Ravens with a buy this week, the Texans with a buy this week. That's 3 AFC playoff teams currently that have a bye this week. Amy, glad that you can make it. Glad that you are here again. As you guys are coming in, hit that thumbs up button. And listen, make sure that you subscribe to all of Hashtag Sports on socials, whether it be on Twitter or X, here on YouTube, TikTok, whatever it's called, all those social media platforms. And also want to give a quick shout out and a quick thank you to our sponsor, Mr. Rogers Homes. Mr. Rogers, top 10 realtor in Arizona. If you're looking for property, whether it be for investment purposes or for relocating purposes out in Arizona, Mr. Rogers Homes is one of the best for that. So make sure you go over to his website. Also has a YouTube page. It's all in the description. So make sure you check it out. But as I said, 3 AFC teams are currently in the playoff picture on bye this week. You also have the Colts and the Patriots on bye this week. And then one NFC team also currently in the playoff picture, and that's the Washington Commanders. Something to note here as well. This is the last week for buys this NFL season. I mean, next week, no more buys, 16 games with 6 buys. That means there are 13 games on the week 14 slate. So let's get right into them. It starts with a doozy on Thursday night. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure if you're an NFL fan, you're looking forward to it as well. You have the Green Bay Packers sitting at 6-6, straight up 4-1 against the spread. 6 going on the road. I don't know. You can see that mine are not coming out as clean as Ryan did there. Give me 1 second here, and I'll tell you what it equals here in a second. I'll tell you what it is here. All right, so the Green Bay Packers 9-3 straight up, 6-6 against the spread, 4-1 on the road. The Lions 11-1 straight up, 9-3 against the spread, 5-1 at home. You see that both Ryan and I like this to be a close game. We like this to be a high-scoring game, a fun game. Like I said on Thursday Night Football, we just see it going a little bit differently when it comes to the final result. And let's be honest, all that matters is the final result. Ryan and I both were at 15-1 last week. Well, we have a difference here right off the bat on Thursday Night Football. I like the Packers. I think that you're talking about two good teams, and that's what this is, two good teams. It's hard to sweep the other. Detroit won in Lambeau. Green Bay remembers that because it wasn't that long ago. Green Bay remembers that. So I think that Green Bay comes out with a little more fire. A 10-game winning streak for Detroit seems awesome. They had some trouble last week on Thanksgiving. Both these teams playing on Thanksgiving, so there's no extra rest for one team compared to the other. Both with a full week of rest. Give me the Green Bay Packers. Also, Jordan Love, 2 straight games, no receptions. Maybe playing the best ball so far this season that we've seen him play. Give me the Green Bay Packers to win this matchup. As you see, Ryan has the Lions winning this matchup. Lions 3.5-point favorites. Like I said, both Ryan and I at least see this one being a close one. NFC North game in Detroit. Not much travel for either team. You may trade that too far away compared to other NFL teams. So I don't know. I just think this one's going in Green Bay's favor. Ryan thinks Detroit. Again, let us know either in the comment section if you're watching live or if you're not watching live. Let us know down below. Who do you like in this Thursday night football game tomorrow? And I tell you what, if you've been tagging along on these, you know that I have a Thursday night football top, and I've hit 2 of the last 3 or 2 of the last 4. So I'm looking to, again, get that going as we didn't hit on Thanksgiving, but we're going to hit this time around. You'll see. You'll see. Going on to the next week, you're going to the game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. This AFC South battle for 2 teams really have had disappointing season. We all know what happened to Trevor Lawrence last week. Hopefully that he's okay. Reports say that he's feeling good. Still in concussion protocol. I don't know if we're going to see much of Trevor Lawrence the rest of this season. That's what I'm not sure about. As you see the Jacksonville Jaguars 2-10 right now, not really playing for much other than maybe a good draft pick, right? 6-5-1 against the spread, but they are 0-6 on the road, and that number really stuck out to me. And when you look at the Tennessee Titans, not much better, right? 3-9, 2-10 against the spread, and then 1-4 at home. When you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're in their back, kind of depleted. They just saw their quarterback down probably for the year. I just don't know what Jacksonville has left in. They're looking forward to the end of the season. Tennessee, Will Levis, they're trying, right? They're still trying to be competitive. They're trying to win some games. This is a young football team that Give me a second here. Where did I go? Where did I go? You guys miss me? Do you guys miss me? I thought you might. But for those reasons, give me the Tennessee Titans to matchup. Brian feels the same way I do. He has the Titans. He has the over 39.5. Not a lot of points. So, if this becomes a decently high-scoring game, or not even a high-scoring game, just a game where both teams can score regularly, this over will hit pretty. I like the under, though. I don't know how much either of these teams are going to score. Wouldn't be surprised to see like a 13-7 game or 16-10, something like that. Low scoring, maybe some field goals. Although both Ryan and I are using this game part of our parlay later on, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Going to the next matchup. Give me a second here. Why is my slide not working? Why is my slide not working? Hello? Hello? All right, let's take a look here. Let's see if we can get this one working instead. So you go on to the next game. You got the New York Jets going into Miami. So it's not going to be cold. So Miami loves that to play the Miami Dolphins. Miami 5-7 straight up so far this season. The Jets 3-9. Jets, we all know their story, right? So both these teams really got hyped at the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, Tua went out for 3 weeks earlier this year, really set the Dolphins back a little bit. They're trying to get whatever they can out of the season. Sitting at 5-7 really would have to run the table to have a realistic shot at the playoffs. Not saying it cannot be done. We've seen teams go on runs before, and this team has the offense to do it. But it starts with this week. So the Dolphins still have something to play for. When it comes to the Jets, everything that I hear in New York is simply saying that Aaron Rodgers is not, feeling like he wants to be a Jet coming next season. You hear them say, "I want to play football, but not sure if I want to be for the Jets." You just hear all these things coming out of New York, and you're not sure what to make of it. To be honest, you're never sure what to make of what Aaron Rodgers says. So, not sure what to make of that, but he's not taking any responsibility or any accountability for the losing down in New York. Give me the Dolphins to win this game. I think the Dolphins actually put up a decently high number. I just don't know how many points the Jets can score behind them. Give me the Miami Dolphins to win this one, and I don't think this one's going to be close. Ryan thinks that the Dolphins are also going to cover the spread and win this matchup. We'll see how it goes on Sunday. Moving to what some people are calling a revenge spot for Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins, previously quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, no longer there, of course, but going to Minnesota. Minnesota, again, a surprise team. Everyone knows their story as we said at week 14. Seeing it 2. Who had that? Who had that on their bingo card? Remember, as Bills fans, we got their second round pick. We weren't excited about a second round pick on Diggs, but at the same time, we were thinking in our heads, well, that's basically going to be a first round pick because the Vikings are going to be so bad this year. It's going to be a high second round pick, and now it's not. Now it's really now. I guess a low second round pick. Now it's not. This is going to be a high second round pick that the Bills obtained for Stephon Diggs. But more importantly, these Minnesota Vikings have been proven all season long that they can win different ways. We've seen the offense struggle, not getting Justin Jefferson involved in these games, yet they still find ways to win. Now, Ryan has the Falcons covering the spread. Yes, Kirk Cousins in a revenge spot, keeping this thing close. I don't know about that. I think this could easily be a 7 to 10 point game. Minnesota is having trouble to score on offense. Hopefully that ends at this week. I will pick the over in this game. And we both pick the Vikings to win this one. Sitting at minus 260. So hopefully the Vikings can pull this one out and help our picks here. But again, Ryan has the Falcons covering a 5.5 point spread. I think the Vikings do that. Next game on the docket, it's an NFC game. You got the New York Giants in New Jersey playing the New Orleans Saints. Both teams struggling this year. You see the Saints at 4-8, the Giants 2-10, 0-6 at home. However, I'm not sure. I think I'd like this game to be a close one. Ryan and I both agree that the Giants cover the +3.5 here. I think that it's a game where they can run the ball efficiently. The Saints still beat up with injuries. I do think the Saints find a way to pull this one out. They're just a better team overall, but I think the Giants do find a way to keep this thing close. And maybe as the season ends, find something to play for because I don't know what they're playing for right now, and that might be. Vito obviously he can hopefully happen. Danny Dimes is now out of New York, so maybe he's fighting for a potential job somewhere at the end of the season. But other than that, not sure what the Giants are playing for here. Saints win this one on the road. The Giants do cover a 3.5 point spread. That's our take. Let me know yours in the comment section. Going to Philadelphia, where the EAGLES Eagles, who are on a roll and looking good. In at 10-2, Saquon Barkley, potential MVP candidate, looking really good so far this season. And again, you want to talk about people that Ryan and I have been leaning on a little bit in our parlays, especially this week. Wait to see those at the end of this video. But the Panthers, who are starting to look better, right? Not great, not good, but Bryce Young, took Tampa to overtime last week, played pretty well, led that tying drive towards the end of the game. I think this is a better Carolina team now than they were at the beginning of the season. and I think that they're able to keep games close, which is why I think that they cover a 12.5 point spread. Now, the Eagles are going to win this game, right? Saquon's going to have himself a day like he always does, and the Eagles are going to win this game. But I think Carolina sneaky keeps this thing close. Maybe even a backdoor cover here as they are 12.5 point underdogs. Give me the Panthers to cover the spread, the Eagles to win this matchup. That's how I see it happening. Again, let me know what you think. Going into a big matchup, and we all remember what happened just 2-3 weeks ago in that snow game on Thursday night, where the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland were able to pull off the upset of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that happens this time. Not in Pittsburgh. I do not think the 3-9 Browns will have a sweep of a division rival this season as the Steelers sit at 9-3, 4-1 at home. And we all know by watching the games, maybe you've been to a game, that the atmosphere in Pittsburgh at what used to be known as Heinz Field, not sure what it's called now, is just different. Right? It's just different. It's different. So I think that the Steelers come out and blow the door off this thing, to be honest with you. I do not think Jameis Winston coming off a two-pick six game, I don't think that he is going to be mentally prepared for the type of pressure. Because I think the pressure he faces in this game is going to be a little bit different than in that snow game on a Thursday. Give me the Steelers to win this game. And again, I think they cover that 6.5 point spread. Ryan thinks that the defense of the Browns keeps this one close. You can see Ryan and I both picked the under in this matchup. But overall, he agrees with me. The Steelers pull away in this one and get the victory, moving to 9-4 on the NFL season. Going to the next matchup, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield leading the Buccaneers at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, a game that I see differently when it comes to against the spread. Ryan does not see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers covering a 6.5 point spread against the Las Vegas Raiders team that, again, in my opinion, gave it all they had last week against the Chiefs and still came up short. If you look at how the Raiders have done on the road against non-divisional opponents over the past few times that's happened, I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks since that's happened back-to-back weeks. They got blown out both times. And I can see that happening here again. I think that Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, even though they lost already both times they played Atlanta and they're looking up at Atlanta in the division, they know they got work to do. And I think they're going to start by beating up on a lowly Las Vegas team. Give me Las Vegas to win this game. Give me Las Vegas to cover a 6.5 point spread. Moving on to the next matchup, an NFC West matchup, a matchup that Ryan and I see going differently. Again, a matchup that just happened maybe 2-3 weeks ago with the Arizona Cardinals losing on the road to the Seattle Seahawks in a close matchup. Now Seattle goes to Arizona. What's going to happen? Vegas has Arizona as a slight favorite. And again, at home, you're getting a point and a half every time. So Vegas pretty much sees this as a 1-point spread in Arizona's favor. So they see this one as a close one. I like the Seattle Seahawks in this matchup. I think this is where the Seahawks start to pull away a little bit from the Rams, from the Cardinals, from the 49ers. However, all we've seen so far this season is that no one in the NFC West wants to win the NFC West. So wouldn't be a surprise to me at all if the Arizona Cardinals at home were 4-2 at home, but you look on the other side, Seattle's 4-1 on the road. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Arizona pulls this one out and then Arizona and Seattle tied on top of the NFC West. And the reason why they're tied, and I hope that's not a three-way tie, is for a reason coming up here in a second. But before we get to that matchup, let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers, an injured, depleted, down on their luck team who has very little hope left of making the playoffs, sitting at 5-7 straight up. Again, now 2 games back of the Seattle Seahawks, who are sitting at 7-5. They have very little hope left, especially again with this injury depleted lineup. We just saw what happened to Chris McCaffrey last week. It hasn't gotten any better as the season has gone on. San Fran 3-3 at home, playing a little bit better at home than on the road. You look at the Chicago Bears, not Bears, going 5 on the road, going to San Fran, different time zones once again. I think that San Fran runs the ball pretty well against the Chicago defense. Maybe plays a little bit of game and keep away, uh, limits possessions for Williams and others on the offensive side of the ball for the Bears, and that the San Francisco 49ers get the job done. Give me San Fran to win this game. Give me San Fran to cover 3.5 point spread. See, Ryan thinks the opposite. Ryan thinks Chicago comes away with the upset. One way to find out, we'll wait till Sunday and see what happens. But we talked about why the Rams will not win and make it a three-way tie for the NFC West at the end of this week. And that's because our Buffalo Bills are going to LA. Just got that snow game in Buffalo. Now let's go to beautiful LA, California, where I'm sure it's a lot nicer than it was Buffalo last week. A lot nicer there than Buffalo this week. So hopefully the Buffalo Bills get to enjoy the sun a little bit in LA before they come back home for a critical, actually, no, they go to Detroit and then come back home for 3 games against divisional opponents. The Buffalo Bills winning their division last week, the first team in the NFL to win their division. However, as Josh Allen said, they're not in this division title. They want that more raw seed. The only way to do that is continue to win because you're still a game back of the Kansas City Chiefs. Both Ryan and I see the Bills winning this matchup, covering a 4.5 point spread, and put up a whole bunch of points. This offense is on a roll, and Ryan will show you why he thinks they continue to be on a roll with his parlay in a second. But we both see this game going in Buffalo's favor for that big matchup next week against the Detroit Lions. Speaking of big matchup in the AFC West this week where you have the LA Chargers going to Kansas City to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 3.5 point favorites. And listen, we all know the story with the Kansas City Chiefs. They squeak by. And this is a team in the Chargers that might be able to put a stop to that. Now you see what I think. I don't think that's what happens. But you can also see that Ryan and I picked another squeaker, another close game. We project points to be scored, and we project this to be a close game. Ryan thinks the upset happens. A lot of you think the upset is going to happen. I think that is Bills fans being hopeful, being optimistic, and we have every reason to be. I understand that. But I live in a world where I see that the Kansas City Chiefs are 6-0 at home. I live in a world where the Kansas City Chiefs just saw the Buffalo Bills win their division. The Chiefs want to wrap that up too. They wrapped up a playoff spot, but they want to wrap up the division title too. And they want to keep hold of that number 1 overall seed. Do they have the talent to do it? Maybe not. Maybe not. In the long run, maybe everyone's saying 3 out of the question. But we've said that before about the Chiefs. It was up this time last year. In fact, they lost to the Raiders. I think it was on Christmas Day or something like that. And everyone said this isn't a Chiefs team that's going to have a lot of success in the playoffs. And just won Super Bowl, which is pretty much the best success we've had. I just don't know. I'm not turning my back on the Chiefs just yet. Sunday Night Football, prime time. I don't know what's going on them up. I just want them to show up. Give me the Chiefs in this game, but give me the Chargers. Keep this one close. A lot of points being scored. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Then you go to Monday Night Football, the game that at the beginning of the season, I thought everyone was excited about this game. And now it's become a game of 2 teams who must win to think that they still have a shot at the playoffs come January. Like, you look at these 2 teams, and man, the Bengals, holy cow, the Bengals story is crazy. If it wasn't for the record was switched. It was 8-4 instead of 4-8. We're looking at Joe Burrow with MVP conversation. Talking about a team that scored over 30 points in the last 3 games and is 0-3 in those games. Like, that's insane to me. That's insane. It's because of that defense. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is struggling. Now, Ryan and I see this going the same way. Look at the Cowboys 1-5 at home, 1-5 at Jerry World. Now, of course, since this is the Monday night matchup, you won't be able to blame the sun getting in players' eyes, but you would expect more out of a Dallas team. Maybe some of us do. I don't know. But this Dallas team seems to be continually regressing. And now, of course, no Dak Prescott. That hurts things a little bit. But we also know that against this Bengals defense, anyone can throw a ball. Anyone can put up 250 yards. Anyone can probably throw for 2 touchdowns. And that's what Ryan's hoping for as we go to our parlays. But Monday Night Football, we both have Dallas covering a 5.5 point spread. We have the Bengals coming away with the victory. So those are our picks. And again, if you're not joining me live, and let me know your picks in the comment section. Let me know down below as you rewatch this, hopefully before Thursday night. Because when it comes to parlays, when it comes to prop, Ryan and I got you covered nice for every single week with a Thursday night parlay. I love my Thursday night parlays, even though the last week it did not hit. I've hit a few of these throughout the season. I'm looking to hit one more time. Look at that parlay for you. You got a David Montgomery anytime touchdown. You got a Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown. And you got a Jordan Love over 268 passing yards. I know what a lot of you might be saying. I would be like, Joe, I don't know if both of Detroit's running backs are going to score in this matchup. But let me let you in on a little secret. It's already happened 5 times this season. It's already happened 5 times this season where David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs have both scored a touchdown in the game. And last week against the Bears on Thursday Night Football on Thanksgiving, something happened that hadn't happened to the Lions all season long. And do you know what that was? Last week, week 13, was the first game where the Detroit Lions did not have a rushing touchdown. Now, I know I picked the Packers to win this game, but also know I picked the over. I picked some scoring in this matchup on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. I think the Detroit Lions try to get the running game going once again. Last time these two teams played, both running backs went over 65 yards, and one of them had a touch. I think it was Montgomery had a touch. But I think both of them have a touch in this game. And if that happens, if it's going to be as high scoring as I believe it might be, that means Jordan Love's going to have to pass the ball quite a bit. And last game, he threw for 272 yards. I wouldn't be surprised if he shoots way past 268, gets 280 something, 90 something, maybe even 300. But giving Jordan Love over 268 passing yards. That is my Thursday night parlay. Going down to Ryan's parlays, I'm going to go 1-1-1-1 because last time we did that, I actually won. So we're going to do that once again. You know that Ryan loves his Buffalo Bills parlay. He hits on these quite a bit, actually. He's done a great job this season hitting on these. He has Josh Allen over 250 passing yards. Listen, before the snow game, Josh Allen hit on 3 of these in a row. So he has it happening once again. Now they're in LA, beautiful stadium, beautiful conditions, not as much weather to have to deal with in LA. Josh Allen over 250 yards. Same thing with Lear here, had hit 6 or more receptions in the last 3 games prior to the snow game last week. He has that happening once again, and he has James Cook cooking. James Cook cooking over 60 rushing yards. I think James Cook can get that one. We all saw what he did last week. Let's see if we can keep it going a little bit, maybe get in the end zone, sprinkle some love for the Buffalo Bills, and continue to cook with running the football. Going to my lock of the week. Here is my lock of the week, and this is my 2-unit play. I know it says 1 unit over on the wagers. I actually got reversed. My 2-unit is my bottom parlay. My lock of the week. My 1 unit is the Thursday night football matchup by George Pickens. Listen, we all remember what George Pickens said about the Browns after the Thursday night loss to the Browns a couple weeks ago. He says things like that. He needs to score. He needs to come out and have a good game against the Browns this week. Baker Mayfield averaging over 250 passing yards this season. I think he hits that again in this game. And Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown, easy money. Easy money. And speaking of Saquon Barkley, you look at Ryan's parlays. Ryan thinks that Saquon's going to have a decent game, at least a decent game, probably a big game this week as well. Saquon Barkley, plus rushing yards. You look at the defense they're going up against, not good against the run. The Panthers are not good this season against the run. And both I and Ryan plan to get advantage of that. He has Saquon 80 plus rushing yards. CeeDee Lamb with 60 receiving yards. We talked briefly when we looked at the Monday Night Football game about the Cincinnati Bengals' lack of a defense. Again, I could probably catch 60 receiving yards against that defense. So we're looking at that game as well. And Will Levis against the Titans going against a bad Jacksonville Jaguars team, really bad against the pass, over 225 passing yards in that one. That's his lock. You look at my lock, like I said, Pickens, McMayfield, so Barkley. Looking forward to having both of those hit for both of us, and looking to see those numbers get better, especially for me, down as many units as I am. I'm looking for a much better final 5 weeks of the season. And like I said at the beginning of this, when you look at my units, I'm down. That means if I want to get back to 8 or close to 8, I got to take some chances. And that's what these prop bets are going to be about. Taking some chances, taking some risks. You see, I have Nick Westbrook, Akeem of Tennessee Titans against the Jaguars team, getting an anytime touchdown. He hit this at 7 of his last 8 games. So I expect him to get another touchdown in this one. I have TJ Watt over a sack and a half. 2, 3 weeks ago when they played, I had him over a sack in that game. Didn't record a single sack. The last time TJ Watt was healthy for both games against the Browns, and he did not record a sack in one of those games. He recorded 3. So give me TJ Watt. I think I'm going to put at 1.5 or more sacks, not over 1.5. 1.5 or more for TJ Watt in that one. And then I have Isaac Guerrero. Again, the San Francisco 49ers depleted on offense. No Christian McCaffrey for that game. Their backups as well. So they have to go to Isaac Guerrero for this one. Going against the Bears, like I said, I expect the 49ers to run the ball pretty aggressively in that game against the Bears. Give me him over 65.5 rushing yards. Not just that, he gets a TD as well. Those are my prop bets. Look at Ryan. Ryan's trying to piggyback off of his parlay. Saquon, he has Saquon for 80 or more yards in the parlay part of this. He actually thinks Saquon's going to run for over 100 yards. So he has Saquon over 100 rushing yards. He has Devon Achane anytime touchdown against this Jets defense, which isn't as terrifying as we thought they would be going into the season. Achane, 3 straight games with a touchdown. He hasn't been in this one as well. Cooper Rush, like you said, that Bengals defense, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And he is Cooper Rush, 2 or more passing touchdowns. Again, kind of piggybacking off his parlays, where he had CeeDee Lamb at 60 plus receiving yards, giving 2 passing touchdowns to Cooper Rush. Maybe one of those goes to CeeDee Lamb to help him in both those ones. When he helps him with parlay and the prop, Cooper help with CD in both the prop and the parlay, kind of piggyback off each other a little bit. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to this week. Again, a lot of good matchups, and it's with that week 14 matchup, or the Thursday night matchup between the Lions. What am I talking about? Why you guys let me talk so much? The Lions and the Green Bay Packers. It's going to be a good one. Be a fun week. And of course, don't forget to join me live this Sunday, 4 o'clock for the game, the Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Rams. I look forward to seeing you all then, about half hour before kickoff. Hopefully, Buffalo get another victory, continue on their march to hopefully the number 1 overall seed. I'll see you all then. I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.